When working with multiple voltage systems, such as 480/277 volts and 208/120 volts present in a building, properly identifying the conductors of metal-clad cable, also known as MC cable, is crucial for safety and compliance with electrical codes. There are several methods electricians use to achieve this. Firstly, phase taping involves wrapping different colors of electrical tape around the individual conductors to indicate their voltage system. For a 480/277 volt system, a common color scheme is black, red, and blue for phases A, B, and C respectively. For a 208/120 volt system, yellow, white, and black are often used for phases A, B, and C. Secondly, color-coded conductors offer another identification method, where the conductors are manufactured with different colors to distinguish voltage systems. For a 480/277 volt system, you might find red, blue, and black used for phases A, B, and C. For a 208/120 volt system, white, black, and red could be used for phases A, B, and C. Thirdly, identifying conductor markings is helpful, as some MC cables have markings printed directly on the conductors. These markings may explicitly indicate the voltage system, such as 480 volts for 208 volts directly printed on the insulation. Fourthly, equipment labeling plays a role. The equipment connected to the MC cable should be labeled with the voltage system it utilizes. This labeling serves as a reference point for verifying the conductor's voltage. Fifthly, ground identification is always a reliable reference. The bare or green insulated conductor in MC cable is always the ground conductor. Identifying the ground allows you to then differentiate the phase conductors. Some additional tips to consider include always following the National Electrical Code, known as the NEC, and any local electrical codes for acceptable identification methods. Use high-quality electrical tape for phase taping and ensure it is wrapped securely around the conductors. Document the identification system used throughout the installation for future reference and maintenance. Always use a voltage tester to verify the voltage system before performing any work on the conductors. The benefits of phase taping are numerous. It ensures quick and easy identification of conductors in the field. It prevents confusion and reduces the risk of potential safety hazards, such as accidentally connecting equipment to the wrong voltage. Phase taping also helps meet NEC requirements for color-coding conductors. For example, NEC Article 210.5 covers the identification of grounded conductors. Article 215.12 addresses the identification of feeders. Article 230.56 focuses on the identification of service conductors. Article 408.3 describes the identification of phase conductors. The NEC provides guidelines that aim to standardize conductor identification for safety and consistency. It's important to consult with a qualified electrician or refer to the manufacturer's instructions for specific identification methods and procedures relevant to the MC cable and electrical system you are working with. Always prioritize safety and accuracy when identifying electrical conductors. When dealing with the electrical systems that have multiple voltage levels such as 480/277 volts and 208/120 volts, it is important to have a clear and consistent method for identifying the conductors in MC cable. This is important not only for initial installation but also for future maintenance and troubleshooting. One of the primary methods used is phase taping. This involves using different colors of electrical tape to wrap around the individual conductors in the MC cable to indicate which voltage system they belong to. For example, a common practice for 480/277 volt systems is to use black, red, and blue tape for phases A, B, and C, respectively. For 208/120 volt systems, yellow, white, and black tape might be used for phases A, B, and C. This color coding provides a quick visual reference for identifying the voltage of each conductor. Another method is to use color-coded conductors. In this case, the conductors themselves are manufactured with different colors to distinguish between the voltage systems. For example, for a 480/277 volt system, the conductors might be red, blue, and black, while for a 208/120 volt system, they might be white, black, and red. This method eliminates the need for phase taping and provides a permanent means of identification. Identifying conductor markings can also be a valuable tool. Some MC cables have markings printed directly on the conductors that indicate the voltage system. These markings might include 480 volts or 208 volts, providing a clear indication of the voltage level of the conductor. In addition to these methods, it's important to label the equipment connected to the MC cable with the voltage system it utilizes. This provides a reference point for identifying the conductors and ensures that the correct voltage is being supplied to the equipment. For safety purposes, the bare or green insulated conductor in MC cable is always the ground conductor. This provides a consistent reference point for identifying the other conductors. When working with MC cable, it's important to follow the NEC and any local electrical codes for proper identification methods. This ensures that the electrical system is installed and maintained safely and in compliance with regulations. It's also important to use high-quality electrical tape and ensure that it's wrapped securely around the conductors. This prevents the tape from coming loose over time and compromising the identification of the conductors. To facilitate future maintenance and troubleshooting, document the identification system used for the installation. This can include creating a wiring diagram or labeling the conductors with permanent markers. Before performing any work on the conductors, use a voltage tester to verify the voltage system. This helps to prevent accidental contact with energized conductors and ensures that the correct voltage is being supplied to the equipment. Phase taping offers several benefits. It provides a quick and easy way to identify conductors in the field, which can save time and reduce the risk of errors. It helps to prevent confusion and potential safety hazards by ensuring that the correct voltage is being supplied to the equipment. It helps to meet NEC requirements for color-coding conductors, which can help to ensure compliance with regulations. Remember to consult with a qualified electrician or refer to the manufacturer's instructions for specific identification methods and procedures. In summary, when working with multiple voltage systems in a building, it's important to have a clear and consistent method for identifying the conductors in MC cable. This can be achieved through phase taping, color-coded conductors, identifying conductor markings, equipment labeling, and ground identification. By following the NEC and local electrical codes, using high-quality materials, and documenting the identification system, electricians can ensure that the electrical system is installed and maintained safely and in compliance with regulations. When working with MC cable in buildings that have both 480/277 volt and 208/120 volt systems, accurately identifying conductors is not just a good practice, it's a necessity for safety and code compliance. Several methods can be employed to achieve this, and often a combination of these methods provides the most robust and reliable identification system. Phase taping is a widely used and effective method. This involves wrapping colored electrical tape around the conductors to indicate their phase and voltage. A common practice is to use different color schemes for the different voltage systems. For instance, a 480/277 volt system might use black, red, and blue for phases A, B, and C respectively, while a 208/120 volt system could use yellow, white, and black for the corresponding phases. The key is to maintain consistency throughout the installation so that anyone working on the system can quickly and easily identify the conductors. Color-coded conductors offer another approach. In this method, the conductors themselves are manufactured with insulation of different colors. This eliminates the need for taping and provides a more permanent form of identification. For example, a 480/277 volt system might use red, blue, and black conductors, while a 208/120 volt system uses white, black, and red. However, it's important to note that the availability of color-coded conductors can vary depending on the manufacturer and the specific type of MC cable. Identifying conductor markings can supplement other identification methods. Some MC cables have markings printed on the conductors, such as the voltage rating or the phase designation. These markings can be helpful in confirming the identification of the conductors, especially in situations where the taping or color coding is unclear or damaged. Equipment labeling is also an essential part of the identification process. All equipment connected to the MC cable should be clearly labeled with its voltage and phase requirements. This helps to ensure that the correct conductors are connected to the equipment and prevents accidental misconnections that could damage the equipment or create a safety hazard. It's important to remember that the bare or green insulated conductor in MC cable is always the ground conductor. This provides a consistent reference point for identifying the other conductors. When in doubt, always use a voltage tester to verify the voltage and phase of the conductors before working on them. This is especially important when working with unfamiliar systems or when there is any uncertainty about the identification of the conductors. Following the NEC and local electrical codes is paramount. These codes provide specific requirements for conductor identification, including the use of color coding and labeling. Adhering to these codes ensures that the electrical system is safe and compliant. High-quality electrical tape should be used for phase taping. The tape should be durable and resistant to moisture and chemicals to prevent it from deteriorating over time. The tape should be wrapped securely around the conductors to ensure that it stays in place. Documenting the identification system is crucial for future reference. This includes creating a wiring diagram that shows the color coding and labeling of the conductors. The diagram should be kept in a safe and accessible location so that it can be easily consulted by anyone working on the system. Always energize the circuit before working on any electrical conductors. This is the most important safety precaution that can be taken to prevent electrical shock. Consider the working environment when selecting an identification method. In some environments, such as those with high levels of moisture or chemicals, certain identification methods may be more durable than others. For example, color-coded conductors may be more resistant to these conditions than phase taping. Regular inspections of the identification system should be performed to ensure that it is still intact and effective. This includes checking the condition of the taping, labeling, and markings. Any damaged or deteriorated component should be replaced immediately. Training is essential for anyone working on electrical systems. Electricians should be properly trained in the methods of conductor identification and the relevant safety procedures. Training helps to ensure that they can identify conductors accurately and safely. Working on electrical systems can be dangerous. Following the proper safety procedures and using the correct identification methods are essential for preventing accidents. Remember that it's always best to consult with a qualified electrician or refer to the manufacturer's instructions for specific identification methods and procedures. Also, keep in mind that the specific requirements for conductor identification can vary depending on the location and the type of electrical system. Always check the local electrical codes and regulations to ensure compliance. Consider using pre-printed labels for conductor identification. These labels can be easily applied to the conductors and provide a clear and durable form of identification. Pre-printed labels can be particularly useful in complex systems where there are many conductors to identify. Explore the use of heat shrink tubing for conductor identification. Heat shrink tubing can be applied to the conductors and then heated to shrink it tightly in place. This provides a secure and durable form of identification that is resistant to moisture and chemicals. Remember that the primary goal of conductor identification is to ensure the safety of people and equipment. By following the proper identification methods and safety procedures, you can help to prevent electrical accidents and ensure the safe and reliable operation of electrical systems. Consider the long-term maintenance of the identification system. The identification methods should be selected and implemented in a way that ensures that they will remain effective over the long term. This may involve using more durable materials or implementing a regular maintenance schedule to check and replace any damaged or deteriorated components. Remember that the identification of conductors is not a one-time task. It is an ongoing process that requires regular attention and maintenance. By making conductor identification a priority, you can help to ensure the safety and reliability of electrical systems for years to come. It is also important to consider the potential for future modifications or expansions of the electrical system. The identification system should be designed in a way that allows for easy addition or modification of conductors without compromising the existing identification scheme.